Hello and welcome to the North Banks Instant Reaction. I'm your host Holly and I'm joined by Chris in the warmth of the studio. Hi Chris.
Mate. All right.
So we've just beaten Wigan 4-0 in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Me and you nice and dry. Stef, perhaps a little less so. But let's bounce over to the Emirates and see his instant reaction at the final whistle.
Hi Holly, hi Chris. I hope you can hear me over the speaker. I'm now celebrating our 4-0 win against Wigan and a stroll through to the sixth round, of the FA Cup. So, look, that was everything we needed today. That was the goals in the first half, and that was the pressure off in the second half that we needed. Away from the league and all the pressure and everything around that. So anyone getting worked up about not scoring more in the second half or anything like that, I mean, you just need to get some perspective. We were brilliant in the first half, showed our class, showed the difference in the two teams. Wigan were vaguely spirited, but obviously just nowhere near our quality. So the day has been interesting. I left Norfolk very early this morning in snowstorms, so I have no idea what I'll be getting back to this evening, and then have dealt with lots of rain and wet basically all day. The lineup was interesting. It was almost like what we predicted, and it was really exciting to see what BlueSky would probably do in midfield. Only we didn't see that because Calafiori, who's clearly made of cooked spaghetti, is injured again in the warm-up. So we have to move BlueSky back to fullback, and then Saka comes on. Interestingly, playing more strikers maybe made us more forward-thinking and more attacking, and it was really good. And we got lots of goals, so it was all very celebratory at the end. So that's all good. It's all positive. In terms of the bigger picture, what's good is lots of rotation, lots of players who needed minutes in their legs getting that, and then a few players who could rotate, lots of changes, substitutions. I'd be very interested to know why Setford came on at the end. Was that a romantic gesture for some reason? Look, I don't know, but the crowd was very different today. Not a lot of season ticket holders who stand around me, so lots of people at their first game, but the atmosphere was pretty good, and it really is very little for us to sort of complain about. And now we go on to the next round of the FA Cup, playing probably another team in blue. Right, I'm going to see you later. You've got my team and my score for Wolves, and I'll see you on the next pod soon. And I'm going to Wolves, so I'll see you then.
Well, so long as it's not Chelsea or Man City in blue.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't know. I need to have a look and see what other teams are around. Can't be Man United, so that's good.
No.
Can't be
Did
Spurs.
I hear him right? Did he say he thought we were into the sixth round?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said the fifth. He said the fifth round first, then corrected himself.
Or didn't correct himself. Yeah.
Well, yeah, miscorrected himself. Yeah, yeah. So the good news about the fifth round is that VAR is back for every game in the fifth round. I'm not sure that is good news, but after yesterday's Newcastle Villa game, which was just the biggest advert for VAR you could imagine. But anyway, I want to talk about that game. The team news. I like to pat myself on the back and say Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, brilliant. I suggested that. Didn't get to see it because Calafiori was like cooked spaghetti. Did he say?
Yeah,
that's good. Whatever it is,
I'd probably liken him to raw spaghetti because it snaps easier.
Yes. Oh, I can't remember who said it on the Patreon. I'm so sorry, but he said that Calafiori's like an Italian sports car, all flashy and good to look at, but breaks down at the sight of a puddle or something like that. Fair. I'm sorry I should have made a note who said that. I'll apologise in the Patreon chat later. So we had Kepa in goal, we had White, and interestingly, Saliba came back in. He'd obviously missed the Brentford game, which is fine, but he didn't play in his he played in his regular position. Just the level of faith and trust in Mosquera to play on the left side of that back two, and he was brilliant again, and then Lewis-Skelly outside him. Norgard, who I thought was excellent, I thought he was brilliant, and then, to be fair, I don't think he's had a duff game for us this season. I loved his progressive passing as well, but then he kind of acted as the shield, and then we had Eze and Saka as in the Ødegaard position, and that allowed a triumvirate of White, Saka, and Madueke, and I just, you know what, I quite liked it. Saka and Madueke on the same pitch on the same side. Did you like it?
I did, and I mean the message I sent to you earlier, which was sort of saying, yeah, it's a bit like shooting fish in a barrel. I get your positives on that. In the way that we set up and the way we played and the way you see these relationships building and the space they gave us, the way they backed off because they were scared of looking stupid, basically. Eze being able to turn and find those passes, which I just hope that he can find that space in the Premier League where it really matters. I think that's my take on it was, but I mean, I'm enjoying it, but there was a little bit of me thinking, is this just getting minutes in legs, building some confidence, which is all great, and scoring some goals, but ultimately I want to see that translate in some way into the games that really challenge us.
Yeah, all that I'd say is compare that performance today and the positivity surrounding it with Man City at home to Salford yesterday. Mm-hmm. And they played a much stronger team in terms of first 11 picks, and then they had to bring 3 of them off the bench at 1-0 still before they secured the second goal. So there's certainly they certainly didn't hammer home a message there. But I know I say that, but they beat whoever they beat 10-0 in the previous round, and I think they went and dropped points within 2 games after that in the league. They dropped points. It's just annoying that they play at home to Newcastle on Saturday evening when Newcastle have to travel around the world beforehand. But then they go to Leeds. Leeds away might be a tricky one for them. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
And then we had Madueke, Jesus and Martinelli, and it was just my notes were 10 minutes. Eze, great ball. Madueke, lovely finish. Eze, great ball to Jesus, offside but not offside. Then 18 minutes, great ball. Eze again to Martinelli, great finish. He didn't cut inside onto his right foot this time, did he?
No.
Lesson learned, perhaps. And then we got the own goal. He popped up again, which was nice of him. Jesus made an absolute dog's dinner out of the cutback from Saka. Good interplay between Madueke and Saka down the right-hand side, and Saka cut the ball back. And Jesus should have just... I don't know what he was doing, Jesus, with it. Maybe it came at a bit of an odd height for him, but he got a touch on it, but the defender headed it into his own net. And what was it? To complete the 16-minute 4-goal thrashing, through a lovely through ball from Norgard to Jesus, and a lovely little finish from Jesus, and that was it. Game, set, match, etc. I was a little bit concerned. Erdegaard's injury. Now, in his programme notes, he said he woke up very sore on Friday morning, but Saturday, I don't know when he put his programme notes together. It can't be much later than Friday to get it printed and turned around that quickly. He said that, it's not too bad at all now. But that just angered me because, just going back to the Brentford game, we had 1 shot in the first half. In the first 15 minutes of the second half, up until we scored the goal on 60 minutes, we had 5 shots. And Erdegaard was pretty much exclusively responsible for that real shift in dynamic in the game. He got injured in trying to defend their goal.
Yeah. And
I said it, that he should have come off. He was completely ineffective after that. And you could see that he'd extended his knee again. It's like, just get off. Like, there's damage you could be doing now. And it's like, I don't know who to blame, Erdegaard himself or Arteta on the bench.
When the player says, I want to stay and I'm full of adrenaline and I want to... And from the bench's point of view, they've seen the impact he's had and they're reluctant to bring him off. So, I mean, it's 6-1.
I get that, but as a fan, I'm on the same page with... I can see the impact he's had and... Okay, we've just conceded 1-1, but it's like he's more important. He's demonstrated in those 15 minutes that we need him fit, especially in the absence of Havertz for the next 2 to 3 games. So it's just, So no Erdegaard. I've mentioned Calafiori. Shame not seeing Lewis Skelly in midfield, but the Saka in midfield by accident or by necessity. We got to look at Saka in a position that none of us would have. And
yeah,
I thought
possibly. I think the only thing for me, he did, of course he did. And I refer, like I said earlier, you have the luxury of knowing that a team is going to sit back and not pressure him in the same way as, playing a midfield like that in a Premier League game without the muscle of like Rice and what we're used to in that position. I don't know. It just feels like would you see that formation in a game with more at stake?
No. There's away at Wolves, possibly not. Away at Spurs, definitely not. Home to Chelsea, definitely not. Home to one of the mid-table low block teams, then yeah. I think because he does have a defensive side to his game as well. Yeah. Like he has played at left back, he started at left back, so he does have that defensive sense, if you like. As does Ødegaard, as does Havertz. Eze and Ødegaard together, maybe I don't know. I mean, well, let's have a little explore of that. We got Wolves away on Wednesday evening.
Yes.
Shall I do Stef's team?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, so Stef sent his team in a bit earlier. He said line up versus Wolves: Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Ngapié, Zubimendi, Ødegaard, Rice, and Madueke, Gyökeres, Martinelli. Now, I've differed a little bit from that. I think if Gyökeres starts, I don't want to see Martinelli with him. I want to see Trossard start with him. I just think we need that kind of connection a little bit more. Now, I don't know whether Stef would change his viewpoint with Ødegaard being injured. I've assumed he is injured.
Yeah, me too. I've
got Raya, and then I've got Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Ngapié as well. But I have put an asterisk alongside Timber's name. I want Ben White to start. I just think he's an attacking sense. He's just adds to the fun boat.
Yeah.
A little bit more, and a little bit concerned about his injury. He sat down, but he did kind of bound off the pitch. It didn't look like he was carrying much of an injury when he came off, Ben White. So I'm hoping it's just a little knock or something. But with the season he's been having, it's probably a little muscle thing he's felt, and he'll be sidelined for another 2 or 3 weeks again, which would be a shame. But at least Timber's had a week's rest from the Brentford game at least. What's your back four?
It's Timber, and as you were with Saliba, Gabriel, and Ngapié.
And your midfield three?
Similarly, I put that asterisk against Ødegaard because I think ideally he would play, but Eze will slip in if he doesn't. And on the back of today, it's good to have got that confidence back in him. As much as I might complain it was against such inferior opposition, but it can't do any harm, right? So
no, absolutely, especially considering he was hooked at half-time against Brentford. To have that as your last football experience is not a good thing, but to have today's kind of superseding that, if you like, with 2 assists and a good all-round performance. And he had that shot right at the very end, which I'm sure was going into the far corner, but it was brilliantly blocked by one of the Wigan defenders. And I would have loved him to have got his goal. A goal and 2 assists would have been just perfect. Chef's kiss of a performance, that would have been. Yeah, I've gone for Zubimendi, Rice and Eze in the middle as well. As what Stef, Madueke, Gyökeres and Martinelli for Stef. Who's your front three?
I'm going Saka and Gyökeres, and I'm going with you with Trossard on the left. Yeah,
I've gone Madueke on the right. Especially because Saka was hooked at half time. I don't think he was meant to start. He only played 45 minutes. And I think that was probably managed minutes-wise. And it was a good 45 minutes. So with the Spurs, the North London derby at the weekend, I'm thinking another 30 minutes against Wolves, come on 60 minutes against Wolves. Madueke said, right, you're playing 60 minutes. He should be told, you're playing 60 minutes. Saka, you're coming on around about the 60-minute mark. Get another 30, 35 minutes in the legs ahead. And then he will start against Spurs.
Yeah,
I would
fair
imagine.
Shout. I can't see him completing either game. Whether he starts Spurs or Wolves, really, because I think they're probably managing him back from the injury.
Well, originally he wasn't expected to be available until the North London derby, so he's already a little bit ahead of it. But having said that, if Madueke starts against Wolves and scores and creates a goal or whatever in his 60 minutes, I'm not sure you can start Saka against Spurs, because Madueke got the goal against Brentford. He scored again the first goal today, and was dangerous as well, like in plenty of other moments. And if he were to start and score against Wolves,
his stats must be looking pretty favourable up against Saka's by now.
Well, this season there's no comparison. I think he's on. Orbinho did. I didn't look at it. He did the update of Gyökeres is still top in goal contributions, but yeah, Madueke is 8 and 3. I mean, he's way ahead of Saka. There's no contest, and he's probably played a similar, comparable amount of minutes as well. But yeah, like, that's great competition. That's what you want. That's why we got him, and I think he's a bit more chaotic. The Spurs game, we'll do a preview proper of the Spurs game, but that we've got to fight against the crowd there. I think they'll be so buoyed by not having Thomas Frank in the dugout that we will be, we'll be up against the crowds more so than the team even. So the occasion, play the team, not the occasion, would be the mantra I'd have for that game. But we'll look at that. Stef's predicted score is 2-1 to the Arsenal for Wednesday night, and he's going. So what's yours?
I'll take that, but I'm going to be even more bullish and go 2-0.
Yeah. Shall I? I've written down 2-0 as well. I'm sticking with it.
Good.
I'm sticking with it. 2-0. I said 3-0 for today, so I was just out 4-0. Happily out. The only other thing I've written down is on this day in 2004, Jose Antonio Reyes scored his first goals for Arsenal in an FA Cup 5th round tie at home at Highbury to Chelsea. And I remember it clearly because I'm a clock ender. I know I shouldn't been host of the North Bank pod, but I'm a clock ender at heart.
I was a North Banker, so we were opposite ends for that.
You're more authentic than I am here. I'm an imposter, but I was a clock ender from birth, I say. No, I was a North Banker from way back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, but clock end with the season ticket. But because of the FA Cup allocation, Chelsea had the whole away end, and so we were relocated to the North Bank, and I was right behind that bullet shot into the far court. It was absolutely lovely. And RIP to Reyes,
absolutely.
Indeed. But so I just thought it was quite a nice little memory this day in 2004. What's that, 22 years ago?
Stop it.
I'm not old enough, surely, because I swear I'm still in my 30s. But anyway, anything else to add? We done?
I think the positives, just move on. Great to get an easy draw for once, We've stumbled so often, haven't we, in recent years where we've had big games in the third or fourth round. So just hope for a good draw in the next round and a bit of luck, because we need it. We're in all 4 competitions. Let's just get another little bit of luck and move forward. Yeah,
nice home draw against... I don't know. I haven't paid any attention.
Left at the bottom.
I don't know who's it. Yeah. So we've done all right so far. We've played away to Portsmouth, home to Wigan. We can't really complain about the draw so far. So that's good. Yes, indeed. We'll be back for an instant reaction. You will be back in the studio for an instant reaction to the Wolves game, and then we'll do a proper preview pod on the Thursday evening ahead of the North London derby on Sunday. Getting close. Anyway, thanks for the chat. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great few days, and we'll catch up again on Wednesday. Up the arse. Come on.
Bye.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.